From the Washington Post, Supreme Court now allows Trump to deport migrants to third countries. The case centered on President Trump's attempt to deport migrants to countries where they are not citizens, including conflict-ridden South Sudan. Some dude comes here from Guatemala, and it's like, off you go to South Sudan. I mean, that's a deterrent. I'll say that.
Of course, that's the headline from the Washington Post.
Yeah.
They picked the craziest place that they can deport to.
The Supreme Court on Monday cleared the way for the Trump administration to deport immigrants to countries where they are not citizens, temporarily blocking a decision by a lower court judge said migrants must have a meaningful opportunity to contest their removal. The court's order, which drew a sharp dissent from 3 liberal justices, was a response to an emergency request by the admin and will remain in place while legal challenges to such removals make their way through the lower courts. As part of Trump's mass deportation efforts, the admin has attempted to send groups of migrants, some convicted of crimes in the U.S., to countries other than their own, including to conflict-ridden South Sudan. I can't believe that. That's ridiculous. 4 individuals initially filed a lawsuit in Boston on behalf of all migrants potentially subject to third country removals, saying they are entitled to notice and an opportunity to raise fear-based claims before deportation. To be honest, if you're from, like, I don't know, Colombia or Honduras, and Trump's like, we're going to send you to Sudan, I think you have grounds to be like, I have fear of death if you send me there.
How does Sudan?
All places.
How does Sudan feel about this? Have they been consulted at all?
The reason they're going to places like Sudan is, or ostensibly, it's because their nation of origin won't take them back, right?
Yes, but Sudan seems like a weird choice. Like El Salvador, I get.
Trump's just like, that sounds good.
To be fair, like these people going to South Sudan, where are they from, though? They may be from some neighboring country or something.
Right.
Or maybe there's no rhyme or reason at all. It's just get them out of here. We don't.
It's a
care where they
lottery.
go. Yeah, it just doesn't even matter. They just need to go.
One of the potential deportees is being held in a makeshift detention at the U.S. naval base in Djibouti. Is that how you pronounce it? Djibouti?
Yeah, it is. Djibouti.
Under health hazards and threat of rocket attacks after the judge said a planned deportation flight to South Sudan violated his order. I got to admit, it's kind of funny.
It's hilarious.
It is funny. I have concerns about it, but at the same time, don't illegally violate our laws and break into our country. And, you know, if you come here illegally, I'm not sure what degree of sympathy I'm supposed to have if we just tell you to go away.
I like that we went from sending them to Martha's Vineyard to sending them to South Sudan.
Look, DeSantis is the
That was the
nicer
pilot
side of the
program.
Is that what that
Republican
is?
Party,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sending him to Martha's Vineyard was the pilot program, and then the
He lucked out.
Yeah, they did.
Until now.
Well, you want to lead with your best foot, you know.
Did you guys see what the group in Colorado did with the?
Oh, protecting the child rapist?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
So
insane.
Colorado has lost its mind, and I could go into a million things about education that they're doing that are insane and attacking the worst cases of parental rights at their state legislature right now, dividing families. But this takes the cake. They've got this group there that actually notified the child rapist, illegal immigrant, that ICE was on its way and let him get away.
It is.
Yep.
That's like they're high from oxygen deprivation.
It's infuriating.
That's crazy because they're super high.
Despicable.
Up.
It's despicable.
Okay.
Evil.
Well,
Yeah.
I pulled up South Sudan and their biggest city of Juba, which is pretty big. It's pretty big. There's a lot going on here. Looks like the roads are largely made of dirt. Largely dirt.
Just make it our Australia.
Houses are all, they appear to be shanty houses. I don't think they have, okay, no, there you go. Regular old houses. I'm just curious about the standard of living in Juba. They got a university. So maybe there's opportunity for some of these people here.
Yeah, you're selling it.
Is it better than prison in the U.S. or worse? That's the question.
Depends on the prison.
Yeah, I prefer exile anyway, so I think they're better off. They got an
Out.
international airport.
Just out.
Just out.
Yeah, you were saying, Tim, I think you said that I think it's okay that we just grab the illegals and get them out of here. I think you just said that you're pretty sure that it is. I think it depends on the validity of the law they're breaking. And this law about immigration seems like a pretty legit law. So in that instance, if
Being
those
here illegally
Yo.
is breaking the law.
a legit law too. It's not like some crazy law where like black people can't come to this country or stupid shit.
Right.
So I
Why
think
would you say that?
so let me just say I don't know which individuals were actually sent to South Sudan. It may actually be that the people who are sent there are from a neighboring country or something, and that he's doing it because he's like, well, go back to where you're from. However, under the assumption that potentially it could be someone from Guatemala that gets sent to South Sudan, I'd just like to point out that the per capita GDP of Guatemala is $6,682, 108th in the world. Yikes! What do y'all think is the per capita GDP of South Sudan? Any guesses?
God.
Let's go. Come on.
$3,000?
What do you say?
$1,200.
$1,200. What say you?
$956.
All right.
Is it real?
Bob Barker, I'm going to say $1.
$1. Closest without going over is Shane.
There we go.
$326.
Of adults, it's all 18 and over.
GDP per capita is
Crazy.
$326. That's per year. I think that's like the bottom. 194th. Is that the lowest in the world? It is.
Aren't we
think
paying,
it's the
aren't we
lowest
paying
in the
people to
world.
leave too? So aren't thinking they could become kings?
Yo, for real, it's the lowest?
So how unfair, though? I'm going to be the maybe the bleeding heart.
Mom.
The mom.
Yeah, right. It is
How
is the
unfair
lowest.
to their country to
Oh, yeah.
send them like the worst of the worst
No.
that have come into our country. We're going to ship them off to a place that can't even probably afford law enforcement. Like, I don't know.
No. Listen. If you're from like Guatemala and you're a farm worker or someone and you're making $6,000-7,000 a year, you are going to South Sudan as like a major expert. Like, they might be actually able to help South Sudan.
They'll be white collar.
Yeah, they're gonna go there with degrees
a
of
positive
expertise
spin
they don't
here?
have down there.
Trying to make me feel better about it. Okay.
Yo, this is wild. South Sudan is the lowest per capita GDP under Afghanistan, Yemen, Burundi, and who do you think number one is?
Haiti.
The number one GDP?
Monaco.
Monaco.
Yeah,
Number one GDP is Monaco?
Lowest.
yeah.
Haiti was a good
lowest
guess, though.
Actually,
That's what I thought.
it looks like they don't have numbers for Monaco and Liechtenstein, but Luxembourg.
That's the number one GDP.
Yeah.
There's this one Western African country that has a massive GDP.
Ireland is number two.
Ghana?
Really?
Yeah,
It was like a trade country. We just
U.S. is
Where's
7.
the U.S.?
It might be Ghana.
Yeah.
Where's China?
China. Let's find China. Oh man, it's down there.
really.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they got a lot of people.
Did I pass it? There's what? Taiwan. Oh, okay.
They're like, we have
East China.
1.4 billion because they tell us they've got over 1 billion people, which could.
Oh
be
wow,
wrong.
China's 70.
Wow, that's
Yikes.
surprising. Very.
Yeah, it is because I
below
think they're
Serbia.
lying about their population numbers. What they really got 600,000 people. Now you're going to see their GDP at like number 7 or 6. You know.
Yep.
Macau tied at number 7. I don't know why they're doing that though. Like it says 7, United States and Macau, but they clearly have different numbers. I don't know why they do that. No idea. Yeah. Number 1, it says Monaco, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg.
Monaco.
That's the highest GDP per capita.
Yeah. A lot of money. Loudoun County is
What's
the
going on in there?
highest median income in the country, which is just across the street.
Yep.
Radical liberals.
But
Actually, they're not.
Those moms
Loudoun?
helped win that governor
District
election.
is, I mean,
But
where
the-
I work, I mean, the field I'm in, they're terrible.
But this is why Loudoun was like the major
Ground zero.
Yeah, because it's actually pretty middle of the road. So you've got moderate liberal types, disaffected former liberals and some conservatives, and then you find out what's going on in your schools, people freak out.
Craziness.
If it was far left, nobody would care. Like, look at LA. We don't have protests in LA over this stuff. They celebrate it. So the fact that Loudoun was fairly moderate and they had this far left stuff, it caused the uproar. So then people, they push back. But I think we need to answer this question. Do you guys, how concerned are you with Trump sending illegal immigrants to any random country?
I don't care where they go.
You don't care.
Yeah, just get them out. Get them out.
I don't
Ian cares?
know. I
Get
don't
'em
know.
out.
Sending them halfway across the world when they can never get back to where they're, or I guess the countries won't take them.
Right.
They shouldn't have come here then.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the country that they're sending them to.
I know.
I feel bad for
I know,
that
but I
country.
feel bad for
the
our
illegal
country.
immigrant.
Get 'em
like,
out.
it's like when, was it Britain sent all the criminals to Australia and the U.S., but Australia, I guess we did okay. We
Yeah, we got
out of it,
Crocodile
so
Dundee
maybe-
out of it. Get them out of here. Get them out of here.
I think I'm only concerned with contingencies of what could possibly
AC/DC,
happen.
man.
Because if you sent a lot of people to a country that had a hostile attitude towards the U.S., they might use those people to do something to us.
They all hate us. They all hate everybody.
Hey, check it out. I was looking at South Sudan here, pull this up, and I was trying to find, I like to look at cities and try to figure out where's their wealthy area. And, I noticed trees. There's only some areas that have nice trees. So I zoomed in on this nice little cluster of areas with trees, and guess what I found?
Yeah.
USAID.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
kidding
nice.
me?
Good.
So
spot.
obviously when you see all the trees and there's grass and it's well maintained, there's relative to everybody else, you got some wealth there, and it turns out USAID operating right there. Probably not no more.
Can we pull up Zillow?
Yeah, Zillow for South Sudan. I mean,
This
there's
is the
grass.
most fun I've had in days.
There's grass. You know, I'm like, someone's got money.
The nicest building
See?
in all of Sudan
It's
is
not
the
that bad.
USAID building. Like,
Well, it's because it's like who's got access to the trees? You know what I mean? You live in a nice area where there's grass, paved roads, and trees, and I'm like, that's the wealthy.
If you can afford irrigation,
Yep,
they have sprinklers.
that's wild, dude.
That cost an arm and a leg over there.
Thought
Nile.
that curbs would be like the indicator of like affluent lifestyle in urban areas. If you got curbs, and you know you've got things like indoor plumbing and
You're doing okay.
Wow.
Did you say Trump is floating the idea to do this?
No, apparently people are scheduled to go to South Sudan. Now the question is, are they going to the capital, or might he send them to like Nagero?
rural.
Yeah.
Going to rural South Sudan.
how far does this go? I mean, he sends them on a plane. They land at the major airport.
take a parachute.
And then,
And they have to jump out of the plane.
no, I mean, I'm assuming they go to the airport and then what? They just open the plane and, I mean, do they put them on a bus? Are
They
we
must
finding
be
them in
coordinated.
They're
homes?
no
Like,
longer
what is
our
happening?
problem. So, once you get them to the airport and off the plane,
Didn't Giuliani do that? He like
Whoopsie.
put all the homeless people on buses.
Up to me, in my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
did that?
Newburgh, New York. We
put 'em all on buses and just sent 'em-
Newburgh became one of the worst cities in the country.
You know, that's like horrible, but kind of funny at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a fun place to be as a teenager.
The current,
good for a family.
the current governor's not doing. I mean, she's a raging liberal Democrat. but-
Local? Oh,
yeah.
oof.
She's kind of doing the same thing. I have an aunt that lives outside of Utica and was in like a retirement community, and they actually took 3 of their 5 buildings for homeless people from the city that they brought up there and paid for them. And she just said it became drug infested, and so
They took away hotels that I have family members that were working at, like in bars and restaurants, and gave those to illegals with the debit card money. Entire hotels just given.
You brought up the British sending all those criminals to Australia. That happened. That's real. And like we're kind of in a situation right now where are we going to do that now? But they didn't have social media.
They're
and
not
people,
our criminals.
They're just criminals. Yeah, they're just criminal. They're not even our citizen criminals. They're just.
Yeah,
I mean, that is kind of funny. Like, I have to imagine South Sudan saying yes. I mean, I'll put it this way. You're South Sudan, right? Your average per capita GDP is $300. You're the lowest in the world. And Trump says, I can send you some guys from a country where they're on average making $7,000.
that are potentially child rapists, that are potentially murderers,
Many
that are
of them.
potentially that are drug dealers. I mean,
It may be a step up for South Sudan.
no, no, this
Maybe they go right to jail in South Sudan if they're one of those people.
I'm going to get a letter from the South Sudanese government being like, that was inappropriate.
They're going to war with Tim Pool. South Sudan
Man,
versus Tim
you
Pool.
Do not say that. I actually do feel bad about that. The people of South Sudan are not bad people.
Yeah.
I don't need to rag on an entire nation of people who are just living their lives because they're poor.
Stuff to have them. Tough to make a judgment call without having them here on the show. We should invite a South Sudanese
of
person
them?
on the show. What? Yeah, I just
should
don't
have
like.
never
speaking
been
to
in our
them.
country to start with,
Yeah.
and so now it's our problem.
I imagine our government's going to coordinate with South Sudan.
Yeah, that's
to
what
some
I'm
degree.
looking that up right now.
And if there's people who are evil, like you're mentioning, they go away. Like the El Salvador prison.
Is Sudan like a?
That's where they
they
belong.
go away. What do you mean they
Well,
go away?
this is a kid-friendly show. I don't want to say what I
okay.
truly want to say.
Are they? They're 60% Christian. I don't know if it matters.
How much?
30,
How much?
60% Christian in
That's
Sudan.
what's up.
More than the United States these days.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Are they like a puppet state of the U.S.?
no.
Sudan.
Yeah,
No, that's Haiti.
it's 60% Christian. Not that it matters.
Okay, where are we now, Tim? Is this GTA or is this Sudan?
Malakal. This is South Sudan, apparently.
I was occupied.
They got no street view. I'm trying to
We
find.
were just inside somebody's house, I think.
It looked like an establishment. I'm trying to find street view points, but it's kind of, there's none. I think the airport might have some. Here we go, Juba. We'll click that button. Let's go to South Sudan. Okay.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
you
oh,
literally-
look, they have fire extinguishers.
All right. I don't think this is South Sudan.
It's just like a
Glory
USA.
Regency Hotel. I don't know. Maybe it is.
They were at a civil
Oh,
war.
wow, in the room.
You can go in the room.
I wonder why that was.
Oh,
I don't think there's a Glory Regency Hotel right there. I think that's just a misplaced
Whoops.
street view. Okay, let's click that one. Yeah, I don't think it's kind of wild. There's nothing.
it says here that roughly
Oh, hey,
half
here
the
you go.
people are under 18 years old in this country.
Oh, man.
This looks like South Sudan.
Oh, yeah.
Dirt roads. Everything's a dirt road. That's wild.
Like I said, man, curbs tell the story.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Your town has curbs.
And look at this. Nesico. They got stuff going on down there.
Are they
I
getting
feel like
paid?
Nesco.
I bet they got great parties.
Do they get paid per immigrant? What do you want to call? how do you want to call these people?
What?
Are they getting paid? Are we like bribing them?
Moms for Liberty
Actually,
is about to
in
have a
all
huge boost
seriousness,
in
what if
Sudan.
Trump is saying the reason South Sudan's an option is he says you hold these guys and we'll pay you $1,000 a year, and they're like, ooh.
I mean, I don't know how they're, how the deal is structured or whatever, but if they're not here, it's worth the money.
I think that's actually a great idea. And then if they disappear, they just get the money. And if they don't disappear, they sit in a jail cell and it costs them $300 a year to cover them, and the country makes a profit. So
Right.
That's what they're doing in El Salvador, basically.
it's a lot cheaper to put them in prison in Sudan than it would be in the United States. So okay, I'm coming
on
around.
board.
I'm coming
Send
around.
them back.
Moms for Liberty is about to have a Sudan chapter.
The biggest reason to send them back isn't just about sending them back and getting these people out. It's trying to disincentivize other people that are here from staying here.
Yeah.
I personally want to see pressure on anyone that would hire illegals. If you knowingly hire illegal immigrants, like, you should lose your property, you should lose your business. Like, it should be really extreme, because this is a massive problem for the United States, specifically when it comes to the way that the census is going to go and congressional districts and voting. So anything that we can do to get people to leave is good, in my opinion.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
To South Sudan.
When you're embedded in the communities with those people as your friends, that'd be so hard I'm just thinking about some of the people I worked with. I mean, I wouldn't be so hard, but I've worked at restaurants in Los Angeles and like dudes from Honduras and wherever.
You got to
Mexico.
divorce yourself from that compassion of yours to save the country. You just get rid of anyone who broke the law to get here.
You just walk in one day and they're just all gone. Kind of like, so it'll feel like the Soviet Union, but it's not.
It's like it's a rapture.
If they sign up right now, I think I heard on the news this morning, if they register with the government right now and go back, there's a path for them to enter legally.
Oh, 100%.
And so your friends,
Or
your
South Sudan.
fellow friends at your restaurant, I mean, they need to go home and do it right. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope. And most of America agrees. Like, I mean, Trump has still, even after having the news covering fights over immigration and stuff, the American people didn't change their opinion about deportations. Mm-hmm. Like, there are a few places where it got heated and there was some protests because, it's protest season and they ain't got nothing else to do. But for the most part, the American people are still on board. It's still 2/3 of Americans want to see actual deportations. It's not just want to fix the border. It's fix the border and deport.
Mm-hmm. Why is it so different from 2017 and 2018 when, the media was just, there was no support for any deportations or the wall, if you recall. All of the news was about cages, kids in cages, separating families, and it was dominating in the mainstream media and everywhere. And some of it was, they were down there filming, crying, all the things. We're not seeing, it's happening, but we're not seeing it in the mainstream news now.
Because the world was a totally different place before 2020. Yeah. 2020 and COVID and the Summer of Love changed America in ways that I don't think we are ready. We can even see yet.
And they also changed their tune, the media, on deportations, because they chose to not report on it really for Obama, who was the deporter in chief. And then when Trump came down, he was like the bad guy who didn't even build the cages. Those are the last guy's cages, right? So they just chose not to make it a thing.
But they really hung it around him, and I remember most of America did not support
because they had to. They had to attach him to being racist because of the whole Mexican thing and all that stuff. So it was like their way of, conflating those and turning him to an evil guy.
The Venezuelan gangs that took over that town, and
it didn't help.
That was like a flashpoint that woke so many people up because it was huge global news. And then people in the news kind of pretend like it wasn't happening, and other people are like, yo, I live here.
Not only that, but stuff like when J.D. Vance was talking about it, and it was the I Don't Really Care Margaret interview, I believe, but when he said, look, the proper number of apartment buildings to be taken over by Tren de Aragua is 0. That's the acceptable number. Any other number is unacceptable.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.